Right. So today we are going to start the discursive passage part. Um, Generally, towards the end of your section 3, actually in section 3, the passage is the toughest one and the longest one. And, in that, there are multiple topics, or you can say there are multiple aspects of one topic which are discussed. Uh, Discursive typically means switching from, diverging from one point to other, right? It also means the long, lengthier things. So this is generally used with passage, essays, and so the last part or the third section of your reading test will contain a longer passage, and in that you need to see that how ideas are connected. If you remember, we learned different linking devices in our writing test as well, in our during our writing sessions, if you remember, right? And in
Yes,
that
sir.
we saw that if we have to connect similar ideas, there were some words that we used for that. And what were those words? Can you tell me, like, for similar idea?
For similar idea.
Yeah. Moreover, further,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
addition,
In addition,
besides. Yeah. So, these things actually gives you an idea that where the passage is taking you now. Like whenever you would find a word,
okay.
on the other hand, it means now they are going to start a different aspect or a different dimension of the topic. Similarly, whenever there will be a
Okay.
word like therefore, or sorry, therefore, or or you can say so, just so, so, then it means they are going to
Mm-hmm.
conclude something now, right? So if
Okay.
you have
Okay.
you take keep track of these words, they are really going to help you a lot. So now, I'm sorry. Now, there are some words written for you. You have already seen these words. You will tell me that
Mm-hmm.
which of these words can be placed in which of the columns. Like the first column indicates the words that you use to add something more or to clarify a point. Similarly,
Okay.
the second column is for those words which are used to a different or opposite view or contrasting view. The third
Okay.
is used to give an example, and the last one is used to draw a conclusion or introduce a result. Like here, moreover, whenever we will use moreover, it will be used to add more, right?
Yes.
And for what purpose you would use such as? Can you tell me? This is a simple exercise. I hope.
Such as, like, for example,
Yeah, here, such as will come here, for example. Now, although,
although present the opposite view,
opposite view, very right. And
for instance, for
for
example,
example, again, indeed,
indeed, clarify a point.
exactly, very good, very good. Indeed is to clarify a point. And then
Therefore, as you mentioned earlier, for the conclusion,
for the conclusion, good. And despite,
opposite view.
opposite view. And consequently,
Yes, like conclusion.
conclusion. And then in spite of,
In spite of, clarify a point.
no, 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 again, an opposite idea, like despite of, in spite of the, right? In addition,
Okay.
in addition,
Yes, to add more.
to add more, thus,
Thus, for result,
for result, good. As a result, for result, that is
same
obvious.
as a result.
Okay, and then similarly,
Similarly, to add more,
very good. To illustrate this,
illustrate this. Okay, so like
this is an
example.
example, right? Nonetheless,
Nonetheless, nonetheless, contrast.
contrast, right? I had told you three words for this: nonetheless, nevertheless, and notwithstanding. I'll again repeat it, after once we are done with this exercise. In fact,
Okay. For result?
no, you are clarifying a point. In
In
fact,
fact.
like
Okay.
if I tell you, well, I have a teaching experience, and then I clarify. By this, you may be thinking that, well, I have been teaching in some university, might be some professor-like thing, right? But then I will clarify. In fact, I had been teaching voluntarily in a university,
Okay.
right? So now, whilst
Whilst.
this is used as to show an opposite idea, same as like while while
Okay.
I was studying, the others were playing,
Okay.
right? Opposite idea. Then hence
Result.
result. Furthermore,
In addition.
very good. Though
Though means for like opposite view.
opposite idea, yeah. But it is generally used with even though. Okay. So now
Okay.
let me show you the use of nonetheless, nevertheless, and notwithstanding.
Okay.
Nonetheless is a single word, please remember. Similarly, nevertheless is a single word, and then notwithstanding. Okay,
Okay.
so let's say I had been talking about the advantages of internet. Okay, I've been like in one complete paragraph, I had been talking about something. So now I want to start a new thing, a new topic, which is against this view.
Okay.
Right? For example, if I say kids need supervision, kids all the time need, guidance. There has to be someone. It's elders' responsibility to guide them, to keep an eye on them, and blah blah blah. So now you have been talking about one view, but now you are going to start a different thing. In that you may say, however, sometimes they also need to be left at their own, so that they can make some mistakes and learn by themselves as well.
Okay.
Right, so now at that time you can say nonetheless, and then you can say they must be allowed to let's say make some mistakes and blah blah. Same is the use of nevertheless. You can just put nevertheless instead of nonetheless, and you can just replace it in that. However, in case of
Okay.
notwithstanding, we generally mention that notwithstanding with above, notwithstanding with whatever we said. That means I don't withstand, or that means, like for the moment, we don't withstand whatever we said earlier. We are not withstanding that, right? Like I can say
Okay.
withstanding with the rules, but if I say not withstanding with the rules, it means I'm going against the rules now. Fine.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
now this was a small exercise. I again, revised it because it is good for you to learn these things, particularly for your writing test. Okay. But in reading test, we
Okay.
will use these devices to reach to our, to find out our answers more quickly.
Okay.
Now, I hope you have read this passage, and if
Yes,
you
sir.
have, okay, that's great. So now I'm moving forward. Now, in this, read the passage below and find cohesive devices used in it. So I'm just showing you the answer, and I'll tell you where these are written. Okay, like in
Okay.
addition, sorry, in fact, although, and whilst. Where is the? Can you help me in finding these things? In fact,
In fact, although okay.
here, in fact, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then there are similar. Let me,
Although, sir,
yeah, in
second
addition,
paragraph.
yeah, although second paragraph here, and then in
Yes, sir.
addition here. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then furthermore,
Furthermore, is furthermore.
furthermore, whilst,
Yes, sir.
though,
Yes, sir. Third paragraph.
third
Third
paragraph, right?
paragraph. Fourth line.
Fourth line, exactly.
Sorry, sir.
Fifth,
One, two, three.
six,
No, no,
seven.
sir. Fourth paragraph. Fourth paragraph. Fourth line.
Here, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, uh, Here in the second experiment, group looks this, large, and then small dough. Can you see this dough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then thus,
Hmm.
okay, then according to, okay, we'll talk on this later, not now. Therefore, can you see this? This is a conclusion,
Yes.
and so on.
Despite.
Despite of, yeah, here, despite this one. Okay, so these words actually tell you that where this talk is moving now. Is this author
Okay.
going to describe a different view or the same view, or he's going to or she's going to conclude something? So these actually help you to find out your answers more quickly, right? We'll talk on this
Okay.
in an exercise.
Okay.
Now, this is an exercise again of you have to match the sentence ending. We have already done one such exercise. Like a new study has actually, okay? Now, which word you can expect in the passage instead of actually? Actually is used to clarify an idea, right?
Yeah.
And what other words you learned for clarification of an idea?
In fact.
In fact, right? So possibly there will be something like in fact. So a new study has actually, first let me see it in the passage, and then we will see which possible option may be the right option. Like if you see here, a recent study, sorry, why it's not working. Okay. A recent study demonstrated that birds belonging to this are in fact.
Okay.
So what this study has shown, that these rooks or crows or whatever these are were able to solve complex problems using tools and can easily master the same technique used in the story.
Hmm.
So actually this fictional story has been proved correct in a recent study, isn't it?
Hmm. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so this is the meaning of this whole passage if I say. So now let's see which possible option is waiting for us here. Can you tell me, like, a new study has actually others needed several attempts? This is logically, grammatically, messed with. A new study has actually experts think, obviously, again, this is, very odd here. A new study has actually, they achieved that their goal sooner. Again, no. Actually, after this, we are
No.
expecting a verb now. A new study has actually
Okay.
confirmed a fictional account,
Hmm.
right? So this is the right answer,
Yes.
obviously. Right? I hope you understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you will give me the answers of number 2 to 6 remaining parts. The intelligence of birds has been suggested in stories, but now there must be some word like but, however, or something. But others needed several attempts. But experts think that they don't do this thing in this, but they achieved their goal sooner. But help us to understand mysterious. But one scientific study can prove this. Only scientific studies can prove this. But they were able to protect themselves, but consistently rejected. So which one? I hope you have paragraph with you.
Yes, sir. Wait a second, sir.
Sure, sure. Take your time.
But only scientific studies. So,
Yeah, yeah. And from where you found this answer?
sir, paragraph like one or two. When
Second
I read,
paragraph.
there is scientific. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've
there
highlighted it.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although it has been speculated in folklore. Now, folklore means obviously the stories. Although it has been suggested or speculated in the stories, but actually empirical test. Now, what do we mean by empirical test? You have been involved in this, I guess. Are you doing, if you are doing
So
some research?
empirical tests like empirical like
Empirical means we need some experimental evidences. Empirical means experimental. Like there are some conclusions we just draw based on theory. Fine. For example, if I produced a medicine, a cure for something, and I'm claiming that, well, this will cure so and so virus, right? But this claim must be supported by some empirical evidence. And when I say empirical evidence, it means through some experiments. Got it?
okay,
Fine. So
okay,
now your answer is correct. Okay, and this was the background from where you got the answer. So next, half of the birds in the experiment were immediately successful. However,
how how okay, so A,
A, and what is the sentence?
like sir, however, others needed several attempts.
Several attempts, right? And from where you found this?
Sir, for fourth paragraph, in addition, the speed with which they completed with the task. So
No, no,
this would be
third
the
paragraph. It's third paragraph. There were four rooks. I'm highlighting it. Please look at the screen now. There were four rooks
okay,
involved in that experiment, and then two of these birds were successful on their first attempt. Now, this
okay,
for however here the word is used whilst the other two birds needed a second try. That means
okay,
half of the birds they succeeded in first attempt, but others required further tries. Now, however and
okay,
whilst. Okay,
okay.
fine. Next, the birds
The
promptly
birds
realized the advantage of using big stones, and so now so means there has to be some concluding
so
word like
means like
therefore, hence,
yeah,
thus. Okay.
yes sir.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So they achieved their goals sooner.
Sooner, and from where you found this?
Sir, they're thus mentioned. Thus they
Exactly. The
were thus able to obtain.
obtain their reward sooner or more quickly, right? Good.
Yes sir.
So one more left now. No, two more. The research showed rooks can use tools with ease, though
Okay.
now this generally speaking, the conclusion of the studies they come towards the end of the passage.
Yes sir.
Like here, if I see the last paragraph, despite of the fact that the study clearly demonstrates, that means the research shows, and despite is like though.
Okay. Yes.
Despite the fact the survey clearly demonstrates the flexible nature of tool use in the rooks, they are not believed to use the tools in the wild. Because in the wild they
Okay.
have several options to get water or food. They don't require stones to gather, for this.
Okay.
So the research showed rooks can use the tools with ease, though. What is the answer now? Sorry. We are done with this option.
B.
So B, yeah. Experts think they don't do this in their natural habitat. That means in the wild. They don't do this. And experts
Okay.
think again is another hint, another indication, because if you see in the paragraph, there is a word like they are not believed to use. Now, who is this? Whose belief is this? Of researchers, obviously.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Okay.
now, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, the one last, sorry, number 6. The rooks work out the properties of different materials, and as a result, what happened?
And the result.
This is in the I guess second last paragraph. Yeah. According to the team, in the final experiment, the rooks recognized that sawdust. Now, you see, in the initial two exercises, what are the experiments they are carrying out? Like in the first experiment, they were, given a tube, like four different rooks. Rooks were given tubes, four tubes, and in that, the water level was different. In some, it was tall, high. In some, it was lower, and blah blah. Okay, and they
Okay.
just poured a worm in it that rooks used to eat. So what according to different heights, rooks just threw some stones or pebbles in it and raised the level, and then they took this worm, they ate this worm. In the second experiment, they introduced different sizes of stones. Okay, and very
Hmm.
soon rooks realized that, well, if we throw the bigger stones, the water will come up more quickly. In the third and last experiment, what they did, in some tubes they introduced sawdust, simply dust, right? And in other
Okay.
they poured water. So crooks realized that, well, if we throw stones in the sawdust, the sawdust will not raise as water does.
Okay.
Okay, so according to the team, in the final experiment, the rooks recognized that sawdust could not be manipulated in the same manner as water. Therefore, when presented with the choice between a tube half filled with either sawdust or water, rooks dropped the pebbles into the tube containing water and not the sawdust. So they rejected sawdust continuously.
Okay.
And they decided this based on their judgment of the properties of the material, like water and sawdust have different properties.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now if you see, option is, I have used all those words which were there in the
Yes, sir.
answer, just to give you a hint.
Okay. So yes, sir. Consistently rejected
Rejected one
one
particular
particular
type.
type of
Right,
research.
right, right, right. So now that's final. Like for a new study has actually confirmed the fictional account. D. Then second, the
Okay.
intelligence of the birds has been suggestion stories, but only scientific studies or empirical evidence can prove it. That means F. Then half of the birds they immediately picked up, but the other required several attempts. A.
Okay.
Then number 4, C. The birds promptly realized the advantage of using big stones, so they achieved their goal sooner.
Achieve.
Then, and number 5 is with B. The researchers showed rooks can use tools with ease, though now there it was despite of something. They don't do this thing in their in their climate, natural habitat, or in the wild. Then the rooks worked out the properties of different materials, and as a result, consistently rejected one type. Okay. I hope you have
Okay.
you had already read it, so that's why I went very fast. I have not
Yes.
explained you the passage. Okay. So I hope you have done. Now we will actually just if you say we'll just stop. I mean after this 40-minute session, we can just terminate the lesson. Nobody else is coming today. But if you want, I can continue.
Okay.
It's up to you now.
Okay.
Now this just leave this exercise. Now identifying theories and opinions. This is again a very important aspect of our of IELTS reading test. You need to understand that whenever you read a passage, there would be some
Mm-hmm.
ideas which would be presented, which would be author's ideas. Author will be
Okay.
saying that thing, but there would be some ideas which would be quoted by the author, and those ideas
Okay.
can be of someone else.
Okay.
Okay. Now whenever there are passages which contain theories and opinions, in that you generally find reference to someone's opinions. This can be stated in direct quotations like in inverted commas.
Okay.
Okay, but these these are obviously very easily recognized because they are some inverted commas. But there are some other ways which actually are used to quote someone else, like Christopher Bird of the University of Cambridge, who led the study, highlighted. Now, what do you think? Is it whatever is highlighted in the next line, whatever is that? Is that
Okay.
author's view or this is Christopher's view?
Okay.
Can you tell me? Is it author's view or is it Christopher's view?
So author's view.
No, this is Christopher's view. Why? Author is saying that Christopher Bird from this university who led the study highlighted.
Okay.
So
Okay,
actually
sir. Got it.
Christopher highlighted it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then there's a like by stating, now this is in direct quotation, so this is very easily understood that well this is not author's view, this is someone's else, and this someone else
Okay.
here is Christopher Bird. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
all right. Now I will show you another a small piece of text again. And can you tell me
Okay.
which verb in the sentence tells us that this is Bird's view and not the writer's or author's view?
Wait a
Please,
second, sir.
yeah, please read it.
So this line, like corbettes are remarkable, intelligent, and in many ways rival the great apes in their
No,
physical intelligence.
that one verb, which indicates, like in the previous example, we saw two verbs. Like one was highlighted,
Okay.
and other verb was
Okay.
stating,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So in next exercise, there's no direct quotations. There's a verb which is indicating you that well, this is not author's view or writer's view. This is Christopher Bird's view.
Believes.
Believes, very good. So who believes this? This actually Christopher believes it, right? Well done. Now there are three other verbs in this passage and one preposition in the passage that refer to the views or theories of an expert. Okay.
Okay.
What are those? Like if I say according to the team,
Hmm.
so it means this is not writer's view.
Okay.
This proposition is used to tell that well, this is not the writer's view. Similarly, there are three more verbs which you need to find, and these verbs actually tell you that this is not the writer's view. This is someone else view. So I'm directly telling you the answer. Why? Because you would have to read the whole passage to find that. These are not very difficult. Right now,
Okay.
if you see speculate, this word, okay, although it has been speculated, that means it is not my view or writer's view. It has been speculated by someone else. Okay,
Okay.
then there's
But
a word.
speculated means like reference?
No. Speculate, to speculate means to imagine, to assume something,
Okay.
right? For example, your assumptions can be used as like, please don't speculate, go and find the fact.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, don't try to speculate. That means sometimes it is used as it is suggested, like, and
Okay.
even suggested doesn't mean the proper suggestion. As we say, I'm suggesting you something. It means
Okay.
some people suggest that if you work hard during maybe your college time, you would say, something. So
Okay.
speculations here, it means that is your suggestions or your what we call your assumptions maybe.
Okay.
Okay, then next is I told you
Demand.
the remarked and noted. Okay, we are already done with according to, and then noted. Where is it? Can you find, please?
Wait a second. Noted.
Actually, this I always get confused in this.
Okay.
It must be generally, whenever this word noted is used, uh, most of the times it is followed by some inverted commas.
So where is noted? I can't find.
Okay, while choose appropriate. Now, remarked is here. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then now here noted. You see, both of these
Where is?
things in the last line. Both of these sentences got inverted commas here. Remark bird. you know, this whatever is written before this wild use appears to be dependent on motivation. Inverted commas close. That means unquote remark bird. Similarly, Rooks
Okay.
don't use this, and as bird noted. Okay,
Okay.
fine. So these are just, this tells you that this is not actually author's view. This is someone else's view. And now this exercise
Okay.
is just useless. I always think to remove it from this, but somehow it's always there. So now, actually, look, you may do it at your own if you want. Statements A to F paraphrase opinion or theories that appear in the reading passage. Okay, your exercise is just you may do it at your own. Your exercise or your task is to match these theories with the same text, where these theories are mentioned in the passage. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, these are
Okay,
written
I
in the
will.
paraphrase form. This will actually improve your understanding, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just jumping forward because there are some other exercises that I really want to do. Okay, now matching features. Matching features tasks are used with reading passages that contain theories or comments. Let me first show you one of the examples, and then now a typical shape or look of these kind of tasks is this. There will be a small box on the top which will
Okay.
contain name of different people. these people would be mentioned in the in the paragraph or in the passage.
Okay.
Okay, and then whatever theories these people presented would be written here in random order,
Okay.
and you would be asked that, well, who presented these theories? So you will read first theory, and then you will match it with, let's say, you say that it is said by Lieberman, so you would say B. You will
Okay.
read the second theory. Sometimes here there are no theories. The passage may be about, let's say, some artwork. Okay, different. The passage talks about the work of different artists or painters, and in that, they say that, okay, Picasso did a good oil painting, so and so person did good, some other kind of paintings, another person did some maybe water painting, and so on. So now these all are different kind of painting. Here they would mention that, okay, the best the best oil painter during 18th century was. So you would, just read it and tell or choose one of these people. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Do you know Dr. Said Minas,
Dr.
orthopedic
Said
surgeon,
Minas.
Professor Dr. Said? No,
In which hospital, sir?
I guess Jinnah. But he
So,
is like, I guess, the first or second orthopedic surgeon in Pakistan. Anyways, okay, right. So now scan the following passage for the names below and highlight them, uh, each time they appear. I hope you have read this. If yes, then we can continue, and if no, then we can stop.
okay, so we can stop. I read it, but we can continue later.
Okay, fine, fine. So let's conclude because others are not here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want them miss it.
Yeah, exactly, sir. Okay.
Okay, okay. Take care. You can have rest now. Right. Enjoy
Okay,
your
thank you. Allah Hafiz, sir.